are today, Gene Moon helped set a standard of editorial, photographic, and design excellence that still exists at Patuxent Publishing. Gene went to work as a writer for the fledgling Columbia Flyer in 1971 and quickly became the paper's general manager. She oversaw the growth of the paper in step with the planned community of Columbia, with a focus on quality storytelling and community service. Gene's commitment to nurturing an environment of editorial quality and to make Patuxent Publishing a good corporate citizen, the Columbia Flyer became an award-winning free community newspaper, and its parent broadened into new communities with new publications. Gene encouraged strong ties between Patuxent papers and the businesses in their respective communities. The papers supported nonprofits and sponsored events and even local soccer teams. Active in MDDC, including serving as president from 1990 to 91, Gene worked with MDDC to expand the role and reputation of free newspapers beyond the rules and biases that limited their opportunities. Her efforts to disprove those prejudices, opening the door to the growth of free newspapers and community journalism, and making them both as formidable a voice for the people as any paid Metro newspaper. We are pleased to honor Gene Moon with this induction as the 55th member of MDDC's Newspaper Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Gene.
Well, Mike came from the advertising side, which means that he has less remarks than I have because I came from the editorial side. You never pass up an opportunity. I'm very happy to be here. I'm particularly happy because when I became president of the Press Association, I was the second woman president, and Gertrude Poe was the first. And I always considered her the great trailblazer. I'm so happy that she's here tonight. And so I was the second, and Peggy Schiff was the third, and we're all three in this room. Pretty amazing to me. It's been 15 years since I left the newspaper business. And in that decade and a half, the industry has changed greatly and is currently in the throes of an upheaval that has tossed editors and writers and photographers, managers far and wide. Some to new forms of communication and some to new careers. Maybe young people working in the new forms of communication feel the same exhilaration that we felt working at the Columbia Flyer and the company that it launched, Patuxent Publishing. We too felt that we were breaking new ground and old rules. It's because of the accomplishments of the Flyer and Patuxent that I stand here tonight as a representative of the men and women who created what became arguably the best community newspaper in America. And by best, I mean it was beautifully written and edited, it was handsomely designed, it lavishly displayed photographs that were sometimes more poetry than photojournalism. Best of all, it was absolutely essential in the lives of its readers. And it made a lot of money. Page after page of advertising that was the envy of other publishing companies. That would be the envy today. There are a handful of core truths about the Flyer and Patuxent and why that paper and company became so successful, and why the people who were associated with it still today regard it as a source of pride. First and foremost, one of those truths is that it was a product of its time and place. Zeke Orlinsky started the Flyer as a free newspaper in 1969, and I joined the company 2 years later. The country had just come through the tumultuous 1960s, and our attitudes and values were shaped in that cauldron. The Flyer's birthplace was Columbia, Maryland, this new city founded by a visionary developer, Jim Rouse, who wanted to create a garden for growing people. Not surprisingly, that town attracted idealists who were encouraged to believe that they were creating the next America. Some of those idealists came to work for the Flyer. Many of them are in this room right now. They were young, they were smart, they were talented, and many of them were women. Some young mothers who were entering the workforce for the first time, often in part-time jobs, and they helped build that company, department by department. The Flyer, meanwhile, was undergoing its own evolution from the city's best bulletin board, which is how it started, to a real community newspaper through the stringent efforts of editors, writers, designers, and photographers. They followed every aspect of that newly developing community, that great experiment that we were involved in Columbia. They provided stories that revealed the social and political struggles of that time, along with individual and institutional triumphs and failures. We were absolutely certain that community journalism could be a destination, not a way station on the road to metropolitan journalism. The Flyer in Pawtucket's second decade was one of acquisition and growth. In 1979, we had 40 employees. In 1989, we had nearly 400. The Flyer was joined by 12 other newspapers, 8 telephone directories, a magazine, dozens of specialty publications that we created. And that's when we learned to be managers. We embraced self-improvement, management training, team building, quality circles, the same way we embraced all the MDDC press associations, writing, design, and photography workshops that we attended, as well as all those conferences on production and film. And that's a second truth about the Flyer. When the company had launched, the people constantly challenged themselves to be better, and they never settled for second best. The standard was excellence, whether we were talking about printing a photograph or conducting a performance review. Today, nearly every one of the founders of the Flyer and the company at launch still live in Columbia. The company they helped create, the community they helped create. Although some of the people they hired remain, none of the original management team members are at Pawtucket anymore. Several have started their own businesses. One started and sold a newspaper. One has an online publication today. One went on to a big city daily after all. 2 became middle school teachers. We pretty much stay in touch with former staff members and with each other. 4 decades after we started the Flyer, several of us work together in our businesses. We support each other's charities and civic activities. Most members of the original management team are here tonight to celebrate. And that's the third truth about the Flyer and the company at launch. Being involved in something beautiful and important made us proud of ourselves and of each other, and it created a bond that we still enjoy. Being honored by the Maryland-Delaware DC Press Association has given us a reason to get together and to reminisce about the years gone by. As Bruce Springsteen tells us, time slips away and leaves you with nothing but stories of glory days. And those were our glory days. Thank you.